Hi, I'm doing a video today for kind of updated a little bit of stuff we've been doing with the crew here. Obviously my stuff is still not here, it's still in the state of working with it. I'm just playing with a little bit more, try to really nail down, the function of resonance instead frequency. Now we've finally figured out is actually resonance. We have other people in YouTube which have been doing research for many years now. They come up to that conclusion. When I was telling you the sun, it's not the way the sun people sees it. It's not hot. It's just a big resonating ball. Some people think it's empty. It's an holosphere. Some people think it's flat. Some people think, well, the shape doesn't really, matter, and it's not a damn thing you can do about it anyway. Whatever shape it is what the reaction of the sun does. And this winter I was experiencing quite a bit. Last winter I didn't spend the winter. I spent the winter in Australia, and this winter here, it's always been cold in the winter and damp, and then I'm pretty much used to that after living here for 30 some years. And I grew up in a really dry and cold area, which is northern Quebec. We're talking way northern Quebec, about 300 miles from James Bay. So one thing this year I could not get around is I felt cold inside the house constantly. And the house felt cold. Even the thermostat crank up at 25 Celsius, we're still getting cold. So I thought it was just me. Maybe I get a bad month or whatever. I'm dragging the flu because we had lots of flu going on. But no, your clothes felt cold. My head felt cold. When you get out of a couch or whatever, you go back to sit this couch, it feels like it's ice. So we checked the insulation. I got tons of insulation, about this much insulation on the in the ceiling. So it's not, and you can feel soon, the sun goes down. You can feel the cold going into the house. It comes from all direction. And I thought it was just me. And then I've been talking about people and figure out and my furnace doesn't stop. It runs constantly, like just so we can keep warm. And suddenly I've been talking to a lot of people and they're having the same problem. Brand new house. People, the owner of this place, the owner of the house is it's not that old, probably maybe 5-6 years old. And they never had that problem, but this year said we have to crank the thermostat and it doesn't make no difference. We're freezing in the house. We have to wear sweaters and down to putting a toque sometime. And talking to other people and they all have the same problem. Talking to people in Vancouver have the same problem. Everybody's bitching about the cold and how bad the cold is. When you walk outside, it doesn't matter how much clothes soon you step outside, it goes through you right to your bone like a nasty damp cold, right? And then I realized again, because we're not taught that, is temperature is resonance. Levels of resonance. A certain level of resonance, you have, a certain level of temperature. And so it's hot or cold. And then I just find out we're having a problem with the sun. Apparently the sun is getting weaker and weaker. Well, the sun is a resonance. The resonance is what keeps the solar system alive. It produces enough energy to go right to the edge of the solar system and bring the energy to all the planet on the edge of the solar system. We're really lucky with a third planet, right? So but if the sun starts to reduce its resonance, this means it's either changing, going to a different phase, or shutting down. And if the resonance is diminishing from the sun, then our temperature will diminish too, and we'll get leakage from from space. I'm not talking about the universe, I'm talking about space and our solar system. And by doing so, our temperature is no longer controlled. Now, we know now, and I've been listening to a lot of scientists, and a lot of scientists have said the same thing. A magnet have no life field around. Matter of fact, the north and south do not touch each other. They have a neutral between the two, but the reaction in the end of a magnet do not touch. Their arm is too small. They cannot connect. They cannot scratch each other's ass. So unless you put some material for them to build a bridge, and then it's an attraction. Of course they're going to go like this because they have an attraction. But if you don't give them any bridge or any material to build a bridge, just straight up and straight down, whatever you want to flip, north or south, it makes no difference. And it's no motion around a magnet, period. So if the sun have resonance, the sun have resonance, and keep this planet resonating, what's happening is we don't have a magnetic field around this planet. And I can't find a magnetic field anywhere. I don't care, you look for a magnetic field and see if you're going to find it. I can't find it. I tested so many things, we can't find it. I have scientists that say the same thing. The electromagnetic field do not really exist. It's a figure of speech in the science world. Well, it's a fucking lie in the science world, as far as I'm concerned. So now we got down to the nitty-gritty. So if we don't have a magnetic field, I would say we have a resonance coming from the sun hitting the earth. Now people are going to say the earth is resonating, which is right, because we all know that. And everybody says, well, so the earth is resonating, the earth must be hollow. Well, I don't really care. I mean, who do I care if the earth is hollow or not? I can't change that either. It could be flat, the earth could be a triangle, the earth could be, who cares, right? But it's definitely, we're not living in a three-dimensional world. We're living, in a two-dimensional world. And like I explained before, we have perception. And if anybody doesn't believe me, tell me any type of cell will multiply by 3 instead by 2. So if you live in a three-dimensional field, all cells will be multiplying by 3, not by 2. So now we move on again, through talking to science and scientists and physicists here and there and private research, and they literally agree almost word for word what I'm saying. What we've been taught is a total bullshit, literally. What you've been reading and when you're listening from NASA and stuff like this, that's Hollywood. Everybody want to go and mine asteroid. So I mean, to me it makes no sense. We have no propulsion. We don't have a propulsion. To be able to move into a space where you cannot push or pull or whatsoever. So you're going to have to really figure that one out, down the road, but if we have enough time. But I figure what's happening with the Earth, instead of calling it a magnetic field, we're having multiple bubble, right? It's like a bubble over a bubble over a bubble over a bubble. And that would be the same way when you have resonance coming out. But a resonance coming in a bubble, it would be a volume, a density, a certain density of resonance for each layers. And this is what's really working with the sun. And that's why we can see the sun, because we have gas layers into those bubbles. And as each bubble, each different gas are separated, they create a bubble, they create an edge, and the next one goes and does the same thing, create an edge. And that would explain why the moon is stuck around the Earth and doesn't spin on its own, right? I don't know, but I'm 60 years old and I still see the same goddamn crater. Doesn't matter what time of the year, you still see the goddamn same crater. So it's not spinning, so it's stuck there. So that would prove my theory. The planet, the moon, which is a small planet, it drifted there and it got stuck, into the layers. But a lot of people will argue that, so which I don't really give a damn, because most people who argue stuff, they never they can't even change the flat tire, so well, their argument, it doesn't really hold any water. At least I can strip down any goddamn transmission, any motor, anything in pieces and put it back together, and it's still gonna work. So I got an edge on those bastards. And so also, you know, at that point now we're having fine. And the generator I got works, right? And I'm gonna have a display underneath this here because I'm talking about, you know, a prototype. A lot of people doesn't know what a prototype is. Believe me, a lot of people, about 99.9% of the planet of human doesn't know the meaning of the word prototype. Everybody thinks a working prototype is a bloody car, you jump on it and go on the freeway and you can sell tomorrow. No. A prototype is an invention or a device that has been built and you test and it gives you a reaction and you can have that reaction over and over. That became a prototype because you can do the experiment more than one time and it will come up always the same way. So this is called a working prototype. It can be worked to produce, to go to the next level. The next level it would be making more power whatsoever. But you know, I have prototype. This is a prototype here, and it's a working prototype because when you run that, you can put any liquid, beer, booze, drugs, food, for 10 seconds, and it change the taste. And the taste always go for the best. It tastes much better, much softer, much sweeter than before. And it stays like this. We did a whole keg of wine. It was a triple O. Brought it down, brought it back to a zero, single O. And it was delicious. My friend didn't like it because she liked it really dry and really bitter. It took the bitter away. The owner of this place, he's a German, he liked bitter beers, and I got him, put a bottle of bitter beer on that, and he drank it, and the first thing he said, "What you did to my bitter? It's gone." I said, "Yeah, it tastes much better, isn't it?" Because I don't like bitter beer. so it was kind of funny. But, you know, this is a working prototype. When you have a reaction, and you can multiply, and you can make this reaction, the same reaction over and over and over, you have a working prototype. You know, it's not a sellable machine in the market. It's a studying machine. You use that machine to study what comes out of it, why it does this, why it doesn't do that, why. It's all those why you can answer by having someone who's doing something. You can ask the fucking question why. Without that, you're like the rest of the scientists, and to the whiteboard and write stuff on the whiteboard till you run out of whiteboard. You buy another whiteboard and you do that, you know, all their life, and then they die. And what did it? The whiteboard writer, you know. So I'm not a whiteboard writer. I don't write shit because most likely it's all in here. So I mean, the fact of we're finding more and more who are looking for the generator because I'm producing 3200 volt out of my generator at high speed. There again, you know, the generator is a working generator. If it's not a working prototype, then come here. I'm going to let you hold the wire for 10 seconds. And I'm going to crank the son of a bitch at 22,000 RPM. You will have 3200 volt going into you, and you will be the resistance. And then after 10 seconds, I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to ask you the question, that generator is working? You won't be able to answer me. Because I'm going to fry your fucking brain right out of your head. The brain will be oozing out of your fucking ears. And your eyes are going to pop like popcorn. So, I mean, if that's not a working prototype, what the fuck is it? It wouldn't be a working prototype if you holding the wire, I turn it on and nothing happened. Now, that's not a working prototype because it's supposed to generate voltage, and it's not. Right? But mine, 3200 volts. I like to see any fucker out there who can produce 3200 volts on a generator. And with no electron in it. By the way, my generator have no electron, have no iron in it. Impossible, the world of physics says. Impossible, the world of science says. Impossible, from the world of the engineer says, you can produce any amount of voltage or capacity with no iron. Well, bullshit. You're all fucking wrong. I'm doing it, and I'm doing it, and I'm doing it. So, screw off. So, I mean, like, you know, now we decide, no, we need more because I need 16,000 volts. That's my goal. 16,000 through the slasher and to the transformer. When I know at 3200 volts, I'm producing a capacity of average of 100 amp. And then continuously 40 amps straight. We're not bringing any more heat back into my generator whatsoever. So we did that. I did many tests of that. I had witnessed, saw the 1/8 of an inch rod, pure tungsten rod, and if that tungsten rod is not under vacuum, here's a tungsten rod which is not under vacuum, and I could not run more than 3 seconds. I was burning the end of the rod, like it was literally falling in a gray little powder in the bottom here. And to disintegrate a tungsten rod, you need 10,000 degrees to be able to do that. And I was doing that with my generator. So, it's a working fucking prototype, isn't it? Again. So, the slasher is a working fucking prototype. Oh, slasher don't work. You can put a fucking DC battery, you know, and create at 3600 RPM, create 60 hertz. No problem. It doesn't matter how much volt you get. It's the slashing in the time period of a timetable and the time as it's spinning, 3600. So now we have working prototype. You know, my antenna, my transmitting Tesla coil is a working prototype. I test it, it transmit, right? So we're just waiting for another piece of equipment so I can take the parts out of it, so I can build my generator, so I can transmit high impulse at high rate through the spark gap and through the transmitting, and see if I can broadcast. Now that's going to be fun. If I can broadcast a signal made of resonance, and that's going to be interesting. I wonder how many electronic I'm going to knock off of it with that one, and how far can I broadcast is how much potential you got, right? And the potential is how much compressed resonance you can get between the chopping system, and normally the spark gap are pretty good to create that because they amplified and magnified everything. So it's going to be interesting, and that's soon I can get my parts. You know, I'm always waiting for parts. It's just a story of doing research, because you know, if you're not in China, well, you have nothing. You know, because the world is totally fucked up. As you can see on TV and what's going on in the States, what's going on in Canada, you know, it's everything. You know, it's crazy. So now I just wanted to get you, you know, up to speed on that. And we find a wire, but the spool of wire we found a 1,000 kilo spool at $360,000 for aluminum nickel wire. And the reason we use aluminum nickel wire is the nickel mix and the aluminum rearrange the element of aluminum. So copper wire is very simple. It would be, you ever see on TV when they do research with little white mice, and they have a maze of obstacles before they can go and get their food in the end of the box, right? Well, that's what copper wire is. The element do not properly line up, so it takes a lot of power and a lot of time, and you lose a lot because it's going over all those obstacles before you get to the end of the wire. By putting nickel into an aluminum, and the mixture, by the time it's perfectly mixed together, what it does is it realigns the element. So now the little mice doesn't have to do the obstacle course. You go from point A to point B to the end of the wire instantly. It's a straight line. So you get way more voltage for the same horsepower or the same amperage you're putting in a generator. You will multiply that, you know, literally by between 8 to 10 fold, and that's the difference. Now that's why this wire is very hard to find, because it's only used probably in military, space research, in NASA and stuff like this, and very hard to find. But we find some. The question is, the price is ridiculous. $360,000 for 1,000 kilo spool. That's 2,200 metric pound. 1,000 metric kilos is a metric tons. It's 2,200 pounds. So I mean, like, you know, how are we going to move that, right? So we find some smaller spool. I believe it's a 10-pound spool, something like 10 pound, $17,000. You know, $17,000. That's almost worth gold. You know, I mean, at that point in time. So, we have to make a decision, because we need 10-pound spool to do the test, a minimum. Because if it work good, then we can build 3 or 4 generator, and then we can really test those generator properly, and duration at a time, bearing and all that, right? So then we find some other wire, which is the same wire. Guess what? It's got no coating on it. That's a lot cheaper. That's about $170 to $200 per 10-pound spool, but it's not coated. And doing a coating, a special coating for that wire at high voltage, pretty much impossible. And the type of wire we're looking for is very simple. It's an alloy, is roughly between, I would say, between 6 and 8% nickel, aluminum. And the same thing with stainless steel wire. Stainless steel wire is pretty expensive also, pretty much the same price. That was American dollars, at $1.69 a gram. Can you imagine that? Now, I know it doesn't cost that much for those spool of wire. I mean, those wire, it doesn't cost that much. I mean, it shouldn't cost maybe twice the price of copper wire at the highest one. It's just we have a bunch of greedy little motherfucking Chinese in between, and the price is that high. Like, everybody think, oh, it's a specialized wire, right? But that's okay. I know we'll go through that. We might have to spend the money for the first one, but after that, those motherfucker, we're just gonna fucking make our own wire. We're gonna fucking put a goddamn wire manufacturer, a smelter. It's not that hard to smelt. It doesn't take a big smelter to make a wire, right? So I mean, like, you know, if everybody really want to piss in our cornflake, I'm gonna shit down our plate, because you know what? When we're done, they can take their fucking wire in their business, and they're gonna fucking die. It's just that way. That's the way the world works today. No problem. Easy for me. Fun. Very fun. You know, I like the destroying fucking people like this, you know. Those people, they don't really deserve to fucking breathe the air we're breathing. They're just greedy motherfucker. So, that's pretty much what we have. You know, we're going along. I got a good crew now. At least 3 to 4 good person working together, and hopefully, you know, thing will start moving soon. We got the wire and stuff. Now on our Joe cell, we definitely see it's a resonance. Anybody can use a Joe cell and use the gas. That's fine. You know, you can do that if you want. You're not going to get a whole lot of better economy. You still have to pour that fucking gas in your tank and create pollution. What we want to do is remove the pollution. So we're not going to use carbon-based primer, because that's all the gas is carbon-based. Your car's been running on nitrogen for the since day one. It's nitrogen will keep your motor running. So we all know now, if you remove all the nitrogen out of the air, you cannot light up anything, even oxygen. You can't ignite oxygen without nitrogen. So we all know that. Everybody's agreeing with that now. So we don't have to worry about it. No, I don't care what people say. You know, you're an idiot and this and that. Fuck those people. You know, what did they fucking people ever show, you know, to the rest of the world? Did that personally? Zero, right? Big fucking fat zero. So we're really close. We probably going to have to purchase a spectrometer because we know the resonance of nitrogen. Sorry, we know the resonance of nitrogen. So, but the problem is you don't want to prime the nitrogen at the level we are here, because if we do that, it's the end of this planet, because that's what all the physicists are afraid of. But you can prime it in a negative pressure, which brings down the elevation of gravitation from the gas, and a negative pressure, it brings it right down. So you can prime it in negative chambers, and as long as the negative chambers goes directly into the piston and stuff like this, there's no danger there, no more dangerous than what it was before, because your car's run on nitrogen before. It will run on nitrogen, minus the garbage we're putting in there. So it will run probably much nicer, and we will be able to breathe the air coming out from the exhaust. So that would be a change, and it won't cost you nothing, because now we don't need the Joe cell. The Joe cell was good for literally learning about resonance, learning how to manipulate resonance, and it was great. I did my learning lesson, did it, tested, make many types of gas, and inner gas, outer gas, bullshit gas, brown gas, whatever you want to fucking call it. I made it, and I blow it. I made sure I blow it, test the power out of it. So make a lot of windows shake around the neighborhood. A lot of people was wondering what the heck this guy is doing. But I'm not shooting gun. I was blasting small balloon full of that prime nitrogen. So it was very interesting, because it really shakes the wall around the neighborhood. So, then our friend took the cell down in the States, and they tried to duplicate what I was doing, and he could not really achieve it, because they will not pay attention of the pressure drops when you're filling up the balloon. The pressure cannot drops in the cell when you're filling up the balloon. You got to leak out very slow and fill up the balloon so the pressure stays stable. Soon the pressure drop. Wow, just a minute on the pressure drop in the cell. That means you have a different gravity in that cell, so you have a different type of gas. And every level, every pound is a different level, you know, and you get a different gas, and it will react differently. So we learned about that. So the cell was perfect, because, you know, I play with it. I learned a lot. And then when he went over there, we tried on a vehicle. Vehicle didn't start, but I was hearing something through my computer, because we're on Skype, and he had a wireless headset to talk to me. And every time he went close to the cell, I could hear this high pitch white noise coming in my computer. So I asked him, I said, "Do you hear that?" He said, "You hear what?" I said, "I hear nothing." I said, "Back away from the cell." He back away, the sound goes away. I said, "Go back closer." He go back closer. So it was a good experiment, because guess what? We found out this goddamn cell is a radio transmitter, and not in frequency, but in resonance. We can piggyback a frequency. So that's where it all started. Now we have a guy who's an expert in radar, switching system, controllers, everything. So we just have to get a spectrometer so we can get the right resonance, find the right level of resonance to prime this nitrogen under a negative atmosphere, and I think we'll be rolling. So that's that for the cell. So we know now the cell is running, it's just resonance. We don't need the cell anymore. We can build a nice little box. We can put that on the side of your fender, inside your car. Put the little unit we're going to put inside your manifold after the throttle body, so it is in a negative pressure. And if we sing the right resonance, we should have ignition. So now we're in the process of getting everything set up for that. Now, drum motor. Everybody look at drum motor. Now, one thing I want to show you, how this motherfucker lied to you. Okay, this drum motor is made in China, but the sticker says it's made in the United States. Let's see if we can. I'm going to try. Can you see that? Made in USA, right? Well, when you look to the company, and how the company would be, what is the name of the company here? Oh yeah, and that tiny little sticker on the red here. Here, I'm going to bring it nice and close. FSP. That's Ford. Or they use the same symbol as Ford company, apparently. And they bring shit here saying, and they sell it here saying it's made in Canada. No, and made in the United States. It's not. It's made in China. That's how much the lie, how big the lie is. All those little fucker, you know, they bring stuff up and put a sticker on it saying made in the States. Well, the sticker might be made in the States, but not the fucking drum. You know, and any idiot who believes that's made in the States, well, find me the fucking company who makes that in the States. Right? You ain't gonna find nothing. As you can tell, nothing is made in the States. They don't even make pipe. Trump is trying to get the pipe made up here now, you know, and good old America, because you guys can't fucking make a pipe anymore. Yeah, the world's going to shit very fast. So this guy is capable of a had problem with those motors, because those motors are the most powerful motor in the world. It's a drum motor. It can have unlimited amount of RPM, unlimited amount of torque to destruction. So, and it ran so cheap. This motor, if it's done properly, it can produce its own energy and give you all the torque and the horsepower you want and the RPM you want at a very low cost. And we're talking about 4 to 5 to maybe 6 amp draw. You should be able to pull out at least 400 to 500 horse out of it. But hey, the Ohio Institute State University says no goddamn way a drum motor can produce that kind of power. Especially a washing machine drum motor. Well, there's no difference between a washing machine drum motor or a fucking car wheel motor or a scooter wheel motor. Those are much bigger, right? And just to give the university a little fucking shake on the side of the head, Bombardier train, all the rail, Bombardier rail, we have SkyTrain, stuff like this, they're all over the world. Guess what the fuck they have in their fucking car? Drum motor. They're about this big and they're about this thick. And they run on 600 volt DC, 40 amp. 40 amp to move a fucking train. 40 fucking amp to move train with 600 volt. Yeah, a drum motor can't move a fucking car. Well, you know, whatever the fucking university, Mr. Buckaroo Bob there, you know, Bob Smith. Well, if you're a businessman, you're really shitty about it, because you know what? You didn't do your job as a businessman, doing your fucking research. So I'll never deal with you, period. You had your chance. Goodbye. See you later with your little Chinese electric car. We don't need an electric car. We can put those fucking motor in anything. You don't need a big conversion. It's a very cheap conversion. It's very cheap. You take the fucking motor out of your car, you put the other one. For the cost of scrap that motor will give you, we'll pay twice for your bloody conversion, because it's a very cheap conversion. It's not much to be done to it. So now we have that. We'll be able to either build on controller, buy a controller, modify it. The guy, he will be on it, and he said if I have to build from scratch, 2 to 3 weeks. We have a prototype to test, and then we'll be testing it, and if you need to be tuned up, he'll be able to do that. That's it, you know, that's his field. So we have a crew, everybody's got their own field, so we're not, you know, jumping over each other. That guy's got a job, that guy's got a job, this guy's got a job, and I got my own job, bitching at people. Keep me busy, especially talking about stupid. So, that's about it for all the update, you know, and what's going on. You know, just the old-fashioned, you know, the old-fashioned way. I'm building another machine here. I'm gonna give you a little peek at it. That's the one here, totally enclosed. There will be another gauge, one more switch, and the light coming through will replace that machine, and you won't be able to hear it running. But this one, I'm billing it only one. I'm not billing it for people. I'm only doing one for doing experiment with it. So that's going to be the new version, and the 2-wire plugs right into those coupler in the end. So that's my new and improved machine. So I can run it and make video with it, so it doesn't interfere, because it's going to be totally in shield. Because the machine, sometimes when you come with microphone or camera, it kind of get, you know, the camera screen. Not the camera will record it. It doesn't affect it. It doesn't affect my screen. And so at that point in time, you know, we'll be able to shield it inside, and it should be okay. It won't release that RF, which is radio frequency, they says, but RF is also mean a resonance flow. Why resonance flow? Because you can have a resonance flow into a wire, and that's what we're having for power. Resonance flow, high potential resonance, high voltage is your flow, and your potential is the density of your resonance, how tight the resonance is. If it's just spread up loose, it's just like resonance is. Here's got a good explanation, right? If you have a box, right, full of marble, is all nice and tight, right? But if you dump the box and the marble on the floor, you still have the same amount of marble, but it's spread all over the place. That's what density means when you come to resonance. You have to be able to content that resonance and compress it so it's nice and tight together. Then you have a lot of potential, like a massive amount of potential. Well, I mean, you can ask them, you know, people who does the power line. What happens when the people, you know, does not careful and go too close to a high power line, and it's not is grounded. He loses life. His arm get vaporized, right? That's what potential means. So, and it's easy to find out. You know, just, you know, that's why he's got those big signs. High voltage, don't get close. Potential, right? So at that point in time, now we pretty much cracked the eggs of, you know, the whole dozen, and we just now have to make the cake. You know, the right volume for this and the right volume for that. We're really close. You know, if the wire or one of the three will come up fairly shortly. I would say no more than 3 months should be coming up. We have something is actually working, and we'll have to test it after that, but you will be able to see something working. Now, a lot of people say, well, a lot of talking, a lot of bullshit, but you never see anything coming out. No, okay, a lot of things, but never see anything. Well, go ahead, figure that one out, smart guy. Or figure any other one out, smart guy. Or just fucking show me in a video what you did in the last 10 years of your life, besides watching TV and jacking off. So, you know, I did, how many times I put a challenge up there for engineer and stuff like this to come and fucking kick my ass off and make me look like a jackass. No one's still kicking my door down. Don't see a big lineup of car with the people with the equipment to come and test my stuff and say that's not what it is, right? So not too afraid what I'm so not afraid it will ever happen. You know, I wish they would come, you know, because they can check it and they will be like the rest of the people walking out of here with the jaw hanging down and, well, right? That's all they can say, well, you know. But I will be, you know, in a couple of weeks I think I will be showing you also what disturbance of electrons can do in gravities. And a lot of people will just, you know, literally jaw dropping again, because people think electron flows around you and stuff like this. No, electron means they like to create mass. They only like to be in mass. So the air is not a mass, it's not a solid mass. Electrons like to be in a solid mass. They're not into the air, they don't float. Because electron is what really control our gravities. But they're all not the same type of electron. Like aluminum have their own electron, copper have their own electron, iron have their own electrons, and they all react differently against each other. And I will show you in a video how can an object become lighter on the scale when you confuse the electron of that material, or it's really the two material, because it will be two types of electron competing against each other, and you will see the scale, the weight losing weight from that piece. If I don't put the electron, if I don't confuse the electron, you will see the proper weight of the proper gravity of the object. And as soon I screw up the electron a little bit, the both of them, then you will see the weight reduce on a scale. And this is somebody who works with that big fucking magnet. They want me to buy that magnet and put my head on it. I don't have to. I know exactly what it will do to my head, because look at you, the guy with the big magnet. You know, you're talking a lot of stuff, you're making a lot of stuff, but do you ever fucking come up with something? No. You know, you can't come up with nothing. You're making all those theory and this and that and that, but you ever use any of that stuff you're learning, or you say you're teaching people? You ever did anything practical with it? No. You know, can't use that fucking, how many kilo that thing is? 10, 15, 20 kilo, 30 kilos, whatever that fucking thing. You can't wipe your ass with that thing, really? So you never do nothing. So just learn how the fucking magnetism, because magnetism is just an attraction, single pole attraction, right? And one attraction is south, one attraction is north, but it's still single pole. Now, we can do many pole on the same face of the magnet now. We can print it, but it's still a single pole, a single pole. But if you put it close together, then the pole will attach itself. Because now the little arm, they're big enough to hold the other guy, right? But they're not long enough to really reach it. So that's why we have different pattern printed magnet on a piece of steel, and you will see all the different shape it does. So I mean, like, you know, nothing is a mystery. You just have to find how it works. I mean, it's a mystery when you can't, when you don't know what it works. After you know, it's not a mystery anymore, because you crack the code. You crack the big know-how to do it. So you know, we're just buttering, just keep playing. You know, like I say, you know, I'm not really busy beside doing those machine here and working on testing more stuff. The other crew, they have everything in the States. They're working on what they're supposed to work on, and that relieved me from having to do everything here, which is, I really appreciate. And also, we have a place where all the brain can go over there, and then mossing around and sit down and talk about the stuff and look at it. All I'm doing to them is just pointing them the direction to look at. You know, just go that way, does that, look what is going to come out of it, and then ask yourself the question why and answer it. Because that's the biggest thing on science, is to be able to answer the why question. Anybody who cannot answer the why question, you know, they can never find anything. You know, so, but that's about it. I think I got pretty much everything up. We will have the description of what a prototype is, so we have no more confusion about prototype. Because when I hear somebody now saying I don't have a working prototype, I will track the motherfucker up and I'm going to hook it up to my generator. Dead fucking serious. I'm not joking about that one. I will track the fucker up and hook it up. I'm sick and tired. People said, well, you don't have a prototype. Soon I hear something like this, come here. Sit in the fucking chair and we're gonna have some fun. You know, back to the old fucking electrocution parts. Now I can always get some entertainment on that one, and I'll do it on a fucking camera also. Now that is gonna be, it's gonna go viral in 24 hours. So here we go, and yeah, and Beside that, I just have to say something about somebody. I think bravo for Trump. At least he's doing what he said he was going to do. And now we have all the fucking baby cry fucker from the CNN, cry, cry, cry babies, and all those idiots in the street, cry, cry babies. You know, I wish I was there. Fucking just fly a fucking drum over and just spray it with something that gave him the fucking shit for a month. And believe me, they wouldn't be in the street. They would be too busy fucking, you know, on a shitter for a week or two. I'm a bunch of fucking cry assholes, as far as I'm concerned. And then, that's just in the States. Now we have our own fucking problem in Canada. We have fucking babyface Trudeau, who just fucking opened the fucking gate to bring, and that was passed I think last week, or the week prior to that, who signed he's going to bring 360,000 immigrants from the Middle East. And then, after Trump put a little break there just to sort out the shit that's going through the border, through the custom, he just said on RT, and it's all over right now, RT and YouTube and stuff like that, that motherfucker says any Muslim who cannot get in the United States are welcome in Canada. Yep. Yeah. That motherfucker, his dad sold 90% of the country when he was in there, and that fucking prick just gave the rest of the 10% of the country away. I don't know, but is anybody in back east, in Toronto, Montreal, who got a fucking rusty piece of pipe and beat the fuck out of that fucking baby face, that little fucking prick, never had a fucking job of his life. Oh, well, yeah, he was a teacher. I think he was an art teacher or drama teacher for probably 2 weeks, and he probably got fired from it. I mean, this guy is the rotten fucking bottom of the slam. You know, when you leave fucking vegetable into a bucket for the whole fucking summer and the shade, it turns into fucking slime. And that's how fucking Lou fucking Trudeau is. So he's lucky I'm on the West Coast. If I have to fucking drive over there, it's going to take me 7.5 days. You know, I won't be fucking happy by the time I got there, because I don't fucking like driving long run. But, you know, what's wrong with this fucking world? I just want to know what the fuck is wrong with this fucking world today. If there's a war goes in one country, everybody's flooding the fucking country for a handful of fucking prick. Where they could have fucking, they have enough population, they could have fucking stoned those fuckers to death. Okay, you're going to lose a few, but that's what you pay to hold your own fucking country. Instead, all those motherfuckers, they're fucking fleeing like fucking rat on a fucking sinking ship. You ever see that in the old days, the old fucking self? When a boat was not worthy anymore, the fucking rat jump off that fucking boat and swim to shore. They do anything they can to get off that fucking boat, because they don't want to be trapped inside. The rat, you know, they're exactly like them. So no, they don't fight for their own fucking country. Oh, let's run away. Let's run away. Let's run away. You know? No, I tell you. And they call themselves men. Fuck that. You know? It just makes me fucking laugh, because of the biggest fucking garbage in the fucking world. If you can't fight for your fucking country, who the fuck are you? You know? How can you look yourself in the fucking mirror every morning? How can you look at your family every morning? You're just a fucking cowards. I mean, you know, yeah, if you want to move your family to the next country, move it there, but come back there and do your fucking best. That's all you gotta do, man. Do your fucking best. At least die like a man, not like a fucking running away like a little fucking piece of shit cow, because that's all you are. You know, I'm like, I'm not prejudiced, and I said that before. I hate every fucking people the same way. I don't care if you're fucking purple or you're a fucking alien, right? If you do something fucking stupid enough, right, or it's beyond fucking fixing, then you have a problem with me. Definitely have a problem. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Trump, rock on. Because he's the only fucking guy who did more work and 4 or 5 days being signed president, and before he was signed president, the Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, and you know, and Hillary, that's fucking bitch there, who fucking killed thousands of fucking people with drone, and same thing with Obama, those fucking coward fucking piece of shit. But hey, that's just my opinion. You know what an opinion is, right? It's just like an asshole. Everybody's got one. I just have a bigger asshole than most people. Okay? That's all it is. So I'm not afraid to fucking tell you the way it is. I'm not afraid to fucking say it the way I want it to say. And everybody who's so fucking too afraid of the word I'm using, then fuck off and die. What the fuck I need you? Right? Yeah, I'm fucking good for nothing. So, life is just peachy. And it's full of fucking shit also. So anyway, that's my video for today. And hopefully I rattle a few backbone to some people, you know. And oh, by the way, another thing. You know what it's funny when you say, you know, people are fucking coward and someone get offended. Anybody who know personally they're not a coward, they laugh at that because they think it's right, right? But the person who get offended about it is a fucking coward. You know, there's no two way about it. Now when I say people are stupid, people laugh at it because they know. But when you hit a stupid person, holy fuck, that person is all offended. They're the fucking stupidest fucking people. They play the game. You tell them what they are, they get offended. Right? If I tell someone and said, hey man, you're doing a great job, you know, you're smart, you know, you got intelligent, he doesn't get offended from that. Right? I'm telling him what the guys can do, or the person can do, or the woman can do. Right? But when you say, what the fuck you did that? Are you stupid? And they get offended? Obviously, soon they get offended. Yeah, they are stupid. Because they know they can't fucking do anything. You know, they're fucking brainwashed. Like the rest of those fucking people doing, you know, all the riot and stuff like this in the car. It was so fucking funny. Oh, come here, Muslim, come here. They just fucking take a guy, probably all his life saving, in a limousine and destroy the limousine and set it on fire. Well, the guy is a Muslim. You love Muslim? What the fuck? See how fucking hypocrite those son of a bitch are over there? And it's also here. I'm not talking, you know, it's no different between the United States and Canada. But I'm telling you right now, United States, you better build a fucking wall way bigger than the one you're going to build and between you and Mexico. Because now that fucking prick Trudeau just opened the floodgate for any fucking terrorist to come here. And we got 4,000 miles of bush in our border. Can you tell the difference between a man with a sensor, a man walking, or a bear or a moose? You can't. In the fucking forest. You can't. It's no fucking divide will tell you, oh, this guy is a bear. Or a fat guy. We're not too sure. Right? Send a drone. Well, by the time they send a fucking drone, this guy is about 20 miles away. So, just to let you know, Mr. Trump, you need to build another wall, and a big fucking wall on this side too. Because we're all going to have a problem also. Believe me. Because all those fuckers are going to get here. Canada is an open fucking door for all the fuck up around the world to come here. So that's my opinion. there again, see, everybody's got an opinion, and I got one too. On that note, you guys, have a good day, and hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be able to update it and give you some updated news so we can go forward. We'll get some tests done, we'll get some results and stuff like that, and hopefully I'll be able to have the guy over there do a video so they can shoot me that here, so I can tie it out with my video and be able to explain that. So because I'm not traveling back and forth, I'm just sitting tight now, waiting for all those people supposed to knock on my door, all those scientists and whatever. I don't want to miss that, just in case somebody come here and they want to test something, right? Or want to kick my ass or whatever. I just don't want to miss that opportunity, right? Because I know it's been a long time since I had a good ass whipping, apparently. So I just want to see how it feels again. I'm talking about giving one. So at that point, hopefully you guys will be back on the channel pretty soon, and we'll tell you more what's going on. In the meantime, you have a good day.